Hi there and welcome to my video tonight. My name is Paula Reed and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator going by the name of Yellow Bear Stamping. Tonight I've got another technique using the craft white ink. So let's switch down to my desktop. Now just before I show you this technique, last week we had an announcement from Stampin' Up that the red rubber stamps that we have all loved over the years, they have finding it harder to get the raw materials for these types of stamps, and so they have made the decision, while they are still in control of the product and bits and pieces, that red rubber will be stopping, and that from the November 2025 online exclusives, they will all stamps will now be photopolymer. The good thing I like about photopolymer is that, especially when you're doing a sentiment, you can see through the stamp, and so you can get it lined up, and also for your two-step, so it does make it a lot easier. One of the techniques that we have used over the years with the red rubber is using the Stampin' Right markers direct to red rubber, and they have found that a lot of people are now switching to Stampin' Blends. So the Stampin' Right markers are going to be discontinued, and they will now be moving to the last chance. So if you are wanting to purchase Stampin' Right markers, hop online and go to the last chance and grab the ones that you want. The other announcement is that we're getting some new packaging for our stamps and dies. So really excited with the dies. They will now have the image. I'll just grab a pack. So at the moment we just have all the writing, and you actually have to open up the package to find out what the images are. So there's no images front or back. The new packs will be in a similar style of case and will have the images. So that will make it a lot easier to know what is in which die shapes are in each pack. With the stamps all going to photopolymer, so they're thinner, they will also move to this sort of case, which will give us a lot more space. Hi Sylvia, great to have you join. I'm just going to get started in a few minutes, just doing mentioning about how the packaging is going to change. So for those of us that run out of room on our shelves, that we don't have a huge amount of space, moving to these packages will allow us that. So until I see some, then I'm not quite sure how I'm going to store them, but we will work around it. So they are, and the new packaging will come in, I think it's with the November online as well. So I'll put a note up on my page after tonight. So tonight we're going to use the Sunflower 3D embossing folder, which is just amazing. It just has so much definition when you dry emboss it. So when you're using these ones, which are, hopefully you can see, they're a lot thicker. So you start with your platform 1, your embossing folder, always with the hinge going through first, paper inside, and then a number 4 on top, and you wind that through and you will get your beautiful dry embossed pattern. So I have got 2 bits of cardstock that I have already dry embossed, so that we don't have to try and squeeze it under the camera. Now hopefully this is going to show the right colour, because sometimes I think with the lights it is strawberry slush. So here are the 2 different sides. So you've got the raised, and then the other side, the debossed. So I'm going to try fingers crossed. One of these, sort of always a little bit scary doing a live, hoping that the technique works when you do it yourself, but not always when you're doing the live. So bear with me. So we're using our white craft ink again, and this time we're doing the technique where you drag the ink pad across your embossed cardstock, and the white ink transfers onto the top. So fingers crossed. Now you want to start with this edge up here, starting off here, and lightly, she says, drag it, and we'll see how we go. I do have some samples, so we're all good. So you're just going to drag it across and then turn it around. Now I have inked this up, so and then you get this lovely bit of now just try and hold it so you can see where I've been. Oops, a daisy, that's got a bit much down at that end, but that's okay. We might just need to trim it, but yeah, and you do get a little bit inky. I have just inked this. I inked this up the other day because it was getting a bit dry, so I've got a bit much down here. So on this one I might actually just trim it, but you get the idea of how it picks, the ink sticks onto the cardstock that is higher. So now we're going to try and do it on the debossed side. I might actually change my ink pads because I've got two here, and we'll see what the other one is like. Hopefully it's not as juicy, but yeah, you can see I think I got it a little bit caught, and that's why it pulled a bit more of the white, but hey, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to do the same on this one with the debossed, and we'll see what that one looks like. I think I could probably go a little bit harder. And then start off. Yeah, this ink pad isn't as juicy as the other one. Here we go. So there is the other look. I think I'll kind of want a little bit more in there, but never mind, we'll just do it one more slice. Here we go. That looks pretty good. Sigh of relief. So here are two different looks with the same, oh, that's actually not too bad, the same embossing folder, and then just putting the ink on the two different, doing it on the different sides. So I'm just going to put that over to the side for a few minutes. I did it using, so this is it with the coloured cardstock, and this is the last week of our, hello, welcome Edith, the last week of our sale of 15% off any of the 2025-2027 in colours. So this one here is using the strawberry slush. Now I did another sample, and this is on just basic white cardstock, and I used the Secret Sea. My Secret Sea is a little bit juicy, and then I did it on the the other side so that you can see the two different looks of how it goes. So this one, and it picks up the background and just a smallish bit on the flower, whereas this one, it's small bit on the background and then mainly on the petals. So I think my preference is the debossed side. So you've got, yeah, two different options. So that you can use white cardstock and do this technique with coloured ink, and you get, you know, there's just no end to the possibilities. But it just kind of gives, I feel this one gives a lot more definition. So I'm just going to, yeah, so you do get a little bit inky, but that's card making, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I think, is that I will move that to this side because the inside has got the white, and I'll just keep this here so that I don't get too much of a shine. Now, you could put just liquid adhesive on here, or I just want to see if I can get that, or put down tear and tape. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do tear and tape just because it helps to keep it flatter. So we're just going to pop some tear and tape. I haven't used strawberry slush, or and even like when it was out as an in colour previously, I don't think I used a huge amount of it, but all of a sudden I've started using it on projects. It's quite a nice sort of pinky colour. So, and then just get my fingernail in underneath. Oops, we'll try another side. Come from a different angle. There we go. So I've done my cardstock measures 9.5 by 13.8. I did it slightly smaller because I actually want a little bit more of the white cardstock. I'm not going to give it any other matte. And so let's just stick that down. So there's that, just giving it a little bit more white, and then pop that. Don't think it's going to go, but we'll just put that back. And then, so I don't know whether you use liquid glue or tear and tape, whether you're a fan of one or t'other. I tend to use liquid glue more now, but for something like this I just find that because there's the indentations from the embossing, that sometimes it's easier to get a better sticking it down with the tear and tape. Let's just put that down. And there, get those off to the side, and then oops, my hair, I forgot to tie it up. Oops, and then we just eyeball it to try and get it as centered as possible. There we go. So there's two different looks for that. Now I have gone and got stamped a Secret Sea. I was trying to remember which one. And then a strawberry slush. I'm going to try and see how this goes with, I'm just going to use the mini dimensionals because, yeah, I stamped and then I realised that I hadn't quite got enough ink. Okay, so it's a good thing that there's always two sides to every piece of cardstock. And then I just want this one to just pop that on there. That's about right. And then, so this, the stamp is from, the sentiment is from the Simply Said, and then I've used the die is from the Delightful Wishes. It just fits it perfectly. And with it being photopolymer, you can see through, and so that you can either die cut your shape first and then hold your stamp over the top, and it's nice and easy to get it centered because it's the photopolymer, or you can stamp it on a bigger piece and then just die cut it. There we go. So there's those. Now I thought that I'm just going to keep it sort of just all in the one colour. Oh, I don't know if that's quite straight. Right, and then not sure how those are gonna show up. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. And we'll just put those on the high bits, so there's a little bit of sparkle. And then these ones, so these are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink, and then you just get some of the sort of like the iridescent gold ones that you can buy on their own. So these, because they've got the Strawberry Slush included in it, they are part of the 15% off, and they go with quite a bit of you know, like there's quite a bit of colour mix in them, so it doesn't have to be just with Strawberry Slush. And then we'll sort of put that one there. So there are two cards, I'll get rid of that now, that are the same technique, but using the two different sides of the embossing folder. So I'm not sure if you've got a preference whether you like the embossed or the debossed side. And then I did Secret Sea with a bit of the craft ink over it, and I thought that just looked really nice, just very subtle. And then I did another one with the white with the Secret Sea over the top, and just did a smaller portion. So you don't have to do a full card front. You could do a strip like this one, or it's not quite a square, it was just a piece of white cardstock that I had sitting on my desk. And then I've used the words from the Delightful, that's a good what's it called? Delightful Wishes, where you've got the sort of the shadow and then the words. And I did my words with adhesive sheets so that it makes it easier. You don't have to try gluing. And then I did manage to use some small bits of the mini dimensionals so that my words were raised up. So there's a couple of ideas to using this technique. It doesn't have to be just with the white craft. Like I said, I'll just bring those back down, that you can use other colour inks on white, but if on white cardstock, but if you're using a coloured cardstock, you will want to do the white ink. So I hope you've enjoyed to see the two last week and this week's videos using the white craft. I will pop tonight's video up on my YouTube channel. I think I mentioned the other week that Facebook Lives are only kept up for 30 days now, so I have started downloading them and then uploading them to my YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch them at a later date if you want to. So thanks for joining, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks. Bye.